This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.
Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Hi, this is David Patrick Wilson. I played Superman, Clark Kent, in the television production of It's a Bird, It's a Plane, enjoying every minute of being right here on the Krypton Report.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take a quick statement. I'm driving today, and I'm thinking about just time and life. Yes, I'm getting deep here. Right now it's June, and it is the 30th anniversary of Batman Forever, which is a Batman film that holds a big place in my heart. Last year, for Batman Day, the family and I, we went to the theater and saw it. So that was an awesome experience. I've now seen almost all the Batman films on the big screen with my children. And I'm thinking, like, I'm 40. Woohoo! That's 30 years ago. And my son is 10, and kind of like how I felt for Batman Forever, I think we're kind of getting with him with Superman. And I'm just thinking about how excited I was that summer, how all-consuming that movie was for my summer. And then later, that summer was Batman and it was Power Rangers. And I think about, we had those Disney adventure books. I had the one that had Batman on the cover. And then I loved Chris O'Donnell as Robin. It was a great film because I have a little brother. And it was fun. We could play Batman and Robin together. And, Jim Carrey was the man. I like Two-Face, and over time he's become my favorite Batman villain. And it just was so exciting. I had, the shirt I got from Walmart that glowed in the dark. The cereal, the Kellogg's cereal. I had to have all the boxes. The McDonald's cups and glasses, the collectibles. I have all those. I've lost some over the years, but thank you to my Uncle Dwayne. He found it. I have a complete set. And it was something so enthralling. And I think about the films that really hit me now. I did get some of the toys that summer, but they came later, more towards Christmas. But I think about films that really hit me in that childhood way, and I feel that Batman Forever, Power Rangers, Batman and Robin, no matter what you say about the movie, it still was exciting and hit me strong as a child at 12. Jurassic Park, and how much the fast food tie-ins and stuff, even The Lion King, because that summer with The Lion King was when I really started having Burger King. And I think about this stuff, and I think about that excitement, and what films have I been that excited for? Man of Steel, BVS, Superman Returns, Star Wars Episode 1, 2, and 3, but I think 1 and 3 were the biggest ones. And how much that impacts you as a kid. And I just think about, the legacy of Batman Forever in my life. I had the soundtrack. Halloween that year, my brother went as Robin. I went as the Riddler. I remember begging for the VHS tape, and my parents bought it for me. I think it was released in October, if I'm not mistaken. But then my grandma had got it for me for Christmas, but I had to play it off like I didn't know, and then, return and exchange it for something else. But I watched that tape over and over and over. And if no one knows this, I had a really bad experience with Batman Returns in the theater with my mom, and that really tainted it. So, I was very apprehensive and nervous about Batman Forever. But I remember we went and saw it this opening weekend, Saturday morning, at 10 or 11, because the theater by the beach, if you went before noon, it was discounted. And that's when my dad took us. And I remember just being so excited after seeing it. And there was more action in this film. And it just made for a really exciting summer of Batman. And I hope that my children will kind of get a similar feeling when they look back at certain things in their summers. And like, this is the summer of Superman, you know, and I'm hoping that this will be a film that'll come out and touch them. And I'm still mad that we don't have any Superman cereal. I don't know why, but just like, even if it's just Superman on the box, okay? Like it was for Batman Forever when it was like on the cornflakes boxes. You know, I collected all 4 of those cornflakes boxes, and I got all the cereal for Batman and Robin. And then we had cereal for BVS. And it was pretty good Superman cereal, and that wasn't even marketed for kids. Where's the cereal for this? But that's my rant. There'll be more on Batman Forever. We decided to kind of hold off our Batman Forever 30th anniversary discussion more towards Batman month in September, what we usually do for the Batman Day, where I'll be reviewing the novel, and we'll have some. Hey, here's another quick Tyler rant. I know you guys love these, but I think it's crazy that Matt Reeves has just turned in the script for The Batman 2. I know that there was one report earlier that said some of the things that he had in mind for The Batman 2 was in The Penguin. Got it. But I still just am perplexed. And this is just me ranting. As someone who is a screenwriter, I am working on that as far as getting things sold, but I do write. I did go to school for it. One of the stories that we wrote and developed was one of our classes, like, you know, developing a sequel to it, and I did write a sequel to one of mine, and I do have plots for a third one. And I say that because the idea, if I'm doing the Batman, right, and I'm not, and he announced the idea of a trilogy, so he already has to have things in mind. He already has to have stories in mind. If you're going into a movie like this, and I know that even Nolan, when he did his, said they weren't focusing on the idea of a trilogy, they were just one movie at a time. Makes sense. But, you know, they had a little tag at the end of Batman Begins that can help set up the idea for The Dark Knight. Awesome. So Matt Reeves, you know, says, I'm going to do a Batman trilogy. And when we start tracing back the origin of all of this, it is what, 2018-ish? When Matt Reeves gets, you know, as director, and then I think Pattinson gets cast 2018, 2019. I think 2019. I'm driving, so I can't look it up because I remember the tease of him in his suit was in 2020, right? And then COVID happened, pushed back the film, and all this stuff happened. So the film got, you know, out later. You kind of think that Matt Reeves during COVID would have ideas for the story, you know, ideas for the script, working some things out, so that he would know what he's doing. So when the Batman finally gets released, you know, in 2022, here we are in 2025, and the script for the second one is completed. Now, I know some scripts take time. I got it. I know the inner processes, and that makes me wonder how much Matt Reeves kept changing, or like, oh, that's too much like this, or we need this, or we're trying. But it really is very perplexing that it's taken this long. And yes, I want to come out well, and I want the script to be good and a great film. Because even people argue that so much of things in The Batman were echoes of The Dark Knight and that trilogy. So I don't know if Matt Reeves is trying to work on doing something where he's pivoting away from things and making it more unique, more of its own. I don't know. I would have hoped, like my mindset is, I would have hoped that maybe they could have knocked out the scripts for 2 and 3 and found a way to shoot them almost back to back. Though a lot of times movies shot back to back don't feel like 2 separate movies. They feel more like one big story. You know, the Pirates of the Caribbean, the parts 2 and 3, Back to the Future 2 and 3 were kind of shot back to back. Especially the Matrix 2 and 3. They don't feel as more of distinct films on their own as much as they feel like connected. But anyways, that's my quick rant. Like, I'm glad it's done. But is this the final draft? Or is it the first draft? Like, we're going to start shooting now? I just feel like it has been a very long process for the sequel.
Welcome to the Krypton Report special about meeting the cast of RTP Roundtown Players. It's a Bird, It's a Plane, Superman, as we prepare to unleash our version of the musical onto the general public. And what better way to kick off this special episode with, as we prepare for the show, than with the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet, the actor playing the great Perry White, is none other than a voice that you all know, Solomon.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Solomon. Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast. It's something you have been on before.
A lot of times, yes.
But let's talk about a little bit different. So everyone here knows more of your history with comics and Superman characters and everything.
Not everyone,
We're Solomon and I are going to be recording a tier ranking of Perry White's. Just something fun together as him and I go down this rabbit hole as we have been. Yes. We've looked at the different Perry Whites, but we're going to do a who's our favorite Perry White ranking just for fun. But let me ask you, Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little history on your history of theater. Like, what got you into theater?
Well,
what kind of plays have you done? And what do you like doing about this play?
well, how I got myself in the theater is because my aunt, rest in peace, some of you might know her, some of you not. Her name was Taria Manor, and I call her TT. And she passed away last year, and she's the one who got me into theater. My first play was The Christmas Carol in Leicester.
Yeah.
And I was Peter Cratchit and the Street Urchin. So now I've been as Superman, my 10th play. So I've been doing.
It's pretty crazy that you've done that many.
Yeah.
And each play, I mean, you've done better as far as your acting, your line delivery,
Yes.
and everything. And we thought it would be kind of fun. With this one, there's not a whole lot of hearts character-wise, but you did so well in your audition. But also the idea of, you're being 10 years old and you're Perry White compared to the adults in the play and you're their boss.
Mm-hmm.
We thought was pretty funny.
Yes.
So I think you're doing well. You're bringing an energy to it and like a gravitas even towards Perry White. We asked Solomon for inspiration for his character, and it was old grumpy man. So of course Jania says, think of your dad. Me, I reference his grandparents, his grandfathers, but of course Jania is like, think of your dad. So it's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you having fun with the show?
Yes, I am. We have a pretty good cast, and I really think that we will have more fun in the future.
All right. Well, thanks, Solomon. We'll catch back up with you as we get into things, and we'll have some pictures of you on stage and some clips of your performance for everyone to see. Give us a great give us a Perry White real quick.
In line?
Yeah, give us a line.
Alright. That's my biggest line I say in the play. Great Caesar's ghost. Kent, where, you numbskull, where the place have you been?
And there it is. Perry White. So there's another voice that you might hear on here often who's part of the play, And this is a character we kind of adapted to make before and middle of the show characters. We used the inspiration of the News Kids Legion, of Newsies, and we have our own Flip, Miss Selah Patrick. Hi, Selah.
Hi.
How are you today?
Good.
So, Selah, do you want to tell us a little bit about your history with theater?
Well, this is about my 5th or 6th play. And, I'm just really good at acting. My last show I did was Alison at Wonderland.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And yeah.
So, how are you enjoying the show?
I like it a lot. I really do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
What makes you like doing theater?
Ever since I saw Solomon done his first play, I'm like, actually, that looks fun. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we did.
Okay. Are you glad to be a part of the show?
Yes,
Are the directors cool?
totally. Because one of them, you're my dad. The music director is Mom, and the other regular director is my Nana.
So that means it's kind of a big family thing, huh?
Yeah.
And the guy in the tech booth. Oh, sorry, Solomon Perry White here. The guy in the tech booth is Papa.
Yeah, our girl.
All right. Thank you, Selah, for being here.
You're welcome.
All right. So we're back with our next cast member. We have, I'll let him introduce himself. Your name, sir?
Ira Winter.
And who are you playing in the play?
I'm Dr. Abner Sedgwick.
And I'll tell you what, I've been around theater and everything. Ira's amazing. I met Ira back in, October, September, when we auditioned for the Christmas show. And he played the character called the Christmas Hoarder, and he's extremely entertaining and fun. And when we were going to do this show, Ira was hesitant because of singing. And I was like, as soon as he said, I was like, I'll cut all the songs. I was like, because Ira's fantastic to watch and amazing.
Well, thank you.
He truly, and I'm not just blowing smoke. I mean, truly, he's that kind of actor that you just inspires you. That wish you could be that good. You're just like, dang.
It's everybody else that makes you good. Like it's the other people playing off of. That's what.
It's like the little choices that you make, and little just movements and just inflection. And inflection's so key, and you just nail it. So we're blessed, first of all, to have you part of the show.
I'm having a ball.
So my first question for you is,
Okay.
What is your history with Superman characters?
You know what? I was never really into Superman. I of course, the original with George Reeves, back in the old 50s.
I've been rewatching. I'm in season 3 right now. Because I've been rewatching. Because I'm also taking some of the cues from that series of not Easter eggs, but call outs in this show. Some of the way I'm doing the videos and stuff, it's called out to George. So
yeah, I mean that just I remember watching that before we go to church on Sundays, or it was a Rifleman or something like that. I just and there's just something nostalgic about the old style that they had such limited things that they could do, but then they made it work. Yeah. And those shows, I love those old TV shows. They're amazing.
Actually, what's funny is Solomon and I teach Solomon, if you're gonna like something, say like Superman or whatever, it's always good to go back and at least experience the original of the past once, to say that you understood where it came from, to see the evolution. And we were watching an episode that he was on my phone on the drive-in and stuff, because I was also telling him, don't make your Perry this Perry, because that Perry is mean.
Right.
That Perry is so mean in that show. But I was telling him, don't make your Perry like this.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always do, when I'm doing a character is I'll try to go back and watch just a little bit. I don't want to watch the whole thing. I just want to kind of get an idea, and then because I think you're trying to copy somebody else, like emulate, like my daughter was telling me, like, you kind of sound like the Christmas Hoarder, and I'm like, oh, well, then we have to change that. Like,
it's okay,
but it is okay. But like he's more Skeletor. Like, he's definitely going down that line. And you just like this picture starts to come in your head of what the character is and what he does, and then the little things they pull themselves out. Like,
I always think it's interesting when you hear people talk about like impressions or voices or whatever. They're like, I start with an impression of this character, but then I do a bad impression, and then I turn it, and that's how I build. Something new.
It's always a constant, like little. Like Christmas Hoarder just popped in my head. Right? He was just like he was right there. Like as soon as I opened up the script, I was like, oh, that's the first time that's ever happened. You know.
He would. What's funny is I told you when we did that show, I was like, Christmas Hoarder makes sense, but I think he should be the Holiday Hoarder because I like the double H alliteration, but also because like you're stealing from every holiday.
Every holiday, yeah. We didn't leave a single one out.
You do a whole rap about all the holidays. So, but what's interesting is your character of Dr. Sedgwick is an original character for the musical, and I've done some research, and I don't remember he pops up anywhere else. There might be an off reference in a comic. I was looking, I didn't see it, but it could always be something I missed. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect when it comes to my super fandom. But what I think is unique is it allows you to bring your own spin on it because you really are just reading it off paper.
Yeah.
You're not comparing, because when we were in Metropolis, like, there's a couple pictures, and I sent, to the group chat of like, hey, these are what the original Broadway, and there's some pictures that exist and you can look up, but there's no recording of the original Broadway as far as performance. Like, yes, the songs, but you can't watch clips of it. There's some really lower grade local groups that done it on YouTube.
And then it's like a little tiny stage and they come unfolding.
And I mean, I watched it, back when we were pitching this, just to kind of get an idea of something different than the TV version, which is altered from the script. It's kind of its own thing. That's why it's often referred to as just a Superman the musical, and not always It's a Bird, It's a Plane, because they did change things. But yeah, with your character, you're doing your own thing. And I think it's refreshing because you're not in any kind of box.
Right. You're free. You can go. It's like if you do Wizard of Oz and you're Scarecrow. Well, you're kind of in this little Scarecrow box, so you're not a whole lot of room to move.
Exactly.
Like, this is no Lex Luthor. He's not. There's no.
Even when you try to put your own little spin on it, there's still only so much you can do that you have to be in, like you said, in that box. Like, or it's like that's not less, but with Sedgwick, you get to be what you want. And I think that's what highlights your skill, is that you have the ability to build that character. What's some of your theater background?
The first thing I tried out for was a talent show, and I was like maybe 6 years old, and I didn't get in. And I was just like, oh, this is horrible. And I kind of just stayed away from anything, even though that was just like what I liked. In 1991, I blew my knee out really bad, and I couldn't play sports. I couldn't do anything. And they started this new program called Performing Arts down at Pickaway Ross. And it was an opportunity to go just do theater. And that's all we did. We had our classes at school, math and English. And then we went down to Majestic Theater, and we renovated this theater. It was a bad idea. They took a bunch of 16, 17-year-old kids and said, here's a rundown old theater. Do what you want. We didn't have lights. We didn't have sound equipment. The first thing we did was we ran the ropes down there so we could have a pulley system at the theater. And from there on out, I was absolutely addicted. Like, I loved it. So did that for 2.5 years. Did Tecumseh twice. And then moved to Illinois, moved back. When I was out in Illinois, ran a movie theater, so it was always still get to watch people act and everything like that, but that's hit or miss. And then I came back here, and things happened, and just decided that I needed to get back into theater. And what's this, like show number 3 or 2, or I don't know how many shows I've done here now, but
after a while you start losing count. Yeah. It is amazing because your audition, you did a scene from Othello.
Othello,
which was really cool. You did Iago,
And then Sedgwick and Max have the two most lines in the show. And we haven't even completely gone off book as a cast yet, but you were already nailing it off book.
Yeah, I knew I had so many lines. I got to get this in my head. I got to get in my head now.
I mean, it was like been a week, maybe two. You were already working off book, and it was highly impressive.
Oh, well, thank you.
Just like, because even when you get mad and you mess up, I'm like, one, nobody knows the show well enough to know that if you messed up. So the audience are like, he missed this paragraph. They're just like, this guy's good. That's all.
Yeah, but when you're on stage, you're just like, oh, I knew that one. I knew I knew where that went.
Yeah. So I'm asking you as podcasting Tyler, not directing Tyler. Are you enjoying the show?
Oh, yeah. This is my favorite part where, like, it is frustrating, but when things start coming together and you start seeing little glimpses of stuff, and then you're just like, oh, can we,
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't bother Tyler with that. That'll be silly. But it's like, oh, that would be so good.
There's little things that I think of when I'm watching. Like, okay, we'll make that adjustment once they're more comfortable with the scene and they have the dialogue. Especially like little quirks I have for Keith, who's our Clark, Superman, in certain choreography scenes of just like that Jenny is working on. Like, because I feel like the expressions in the body language is really what's going to help sell it, the awkwardness. And it's like, but once you know the scene, then you can make those adjustments.
Yeah, and that's the other thing why I wanted to get off book so fast was because, like, when you've got that script in your hand, like, you can't have your props. You can't have. It's hard to remember where you're at on stage if you're like constantly, okay, I'm on stage left and blah blah blah, but when that script's off your hands, then you could just waltz over there, or whatever your character would be doing at that moment.
I'm not a sports person, but I mean, I know I can play a sport. I'm not great at all.
We're theater people.
Yeah, and I know enough to get by, but I've always thought about as an analogy is like, theater is like soccer and hockey. It's constant. Like when you're on stage, movies and TV is like football. Like you said, it's set up, execute, stop, set up, execute.
Yeah.
So like, you need to know your lines when you're doing a movie, but at the same time, there's breaks to learn them. You can hide cue cards. I mean, Marlon Brando's famous for his scenes in Superman the movie. He had cue cards behind him in the camera. He didn't memorize nothing. So he's reading his lines as he's delivering them. Lazy.
Yeah.
But then when you're in theater, you're doing this, you don't have that opportunity. You're live. Everything's going. There's no stop and go. The only stop is if you're not in that scene.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it means you're recalibrating for your next scene, being a costume change or whatever.
There is no stop, even during intermission. There's little windows. You're like, oh, I can go grab a cigarette. That's it.
Intermission, you're just like,
yeah, but then, I mean, intermission's 15, 20 minutes?
Yep.
Like, that is basically 35 seconds when you've just got off stage.
You get off stage, you drink a bottle of water,
you
go back out there. What's the scene from Mighty Ducks? You get a drink of water, you throw it down, and you do it again. But no, it's a blessing to have you as part of this cast, and
thanks.
I'm so happy that you're here.
Oh, I appreciate it. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and I can't wait to see what this show turns into. It's going to be something. It's really going to be something.
Our next two cast members are up. Your name, sir?
Joey Manna.
And you're playing?
Max.
And your name?
I'm Meagan Mosier, and I'm playing Lois Lane.
Oh, Lois Lane is in the house. And so is Supermax.
Supermax.
Now, if you're like, who's Max? We've talked about this, remember. So, Joey, my first question to you is, what is your history with the Superman character?
So I actually grew up obsessed with Batman, which is crazy.
It's allowed.
Yeah, it is allowed. And so I've read the comics for years. That's why when I put on my audition for him, I would also take Lex Luthor because I had never seen the musical. So I'm pretty sure you guys got a nice laugh about that. For years, I was obsessed with Batman everything. I had a bathroom in one of my old houses that was Batman everything. So, and then when the movies came out, obviously I was hooked with him. Christopher Reeve will always be my favorite of all of them. I grew up watching him, and he was always just an icon with that. So.
Who's your favorite Batman?
Favorite Batman? Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. He is Batman and Bruce Wayne. Every other one of them is one or the other. He's the only one that is both of them for me.
Oh, I can respect that. Yeah. Totally. Joey and I are the same age, so there's a little. It works because we had that same kind of generational growing up. That's cool, and it's funny because, like you said, I never read the script and everything for the play, and it's funny because we've talked about this before that one of our ongoing themes we talked about is how movies will come along and cement certain ideals and characters into the zeitgeist and make that a staple. Like, you might not have known this. Do you know that Krypton was never depicted as ice until Superman the movie, and Smallville was never in Kansas until Superman the movie?
I didn't know.
And now those are two things that you can't.
Yeah,
diverge.
you would be the one to know that. So yeah.
So, tell us a little bit. What made you want to audition for the musical?
Well, I wanted to audition for the musical because it was different. That and it's close. I just moved to Circleville recently, and I've been wanting to get back. Roundtown was always a theater I loved. I did a show here a while ago, and I loved the experience.
And what show was that, Joey?
Rocky Horror.
And who else was in that show, Joey?
Lots of people. Taria was in it, and Junia was involved, and
I was in the background here every day.
Well, you were in the background, yes, every day. It was fun. I met a lot of wonderful people there, but moving to Chillicothe, the drive isn't great, and now I'm doing a show in Chillicothe, and the drive is great. I was like, oh, they're doing this. And I auditioned just to see what I would get, obviously, and I didn't care. I mean, it was close. It takes me 3 minutes to get here. So
it was a blessing to have you audition, and watching your audition was awesome. And so the character of Max Meagan on paper is interesting, and it's funny because, like, as a director and everything, like you get an idea of a character, how you want it, and then you have an actor come in and read, and they put their own spin on it, and you're like, yes. Who was some of your inspiration to bring the character of Max Meagan?
Oh, it's definitely Don Draper. I mentioned this before. That, and I would say J. Jonah Jameson is a lot, especially when I say menace. Yeah. In one of my lines, it's like, "I'm menace!" Like, I channel him. I mean, like, because he's also like a reporter for the paper. So between those two, and definitely like the aspects of how Max is to everybody, that's more Don Draper, but with my lines, it's definitely more J. Jonah Jameson.
It was funny when you said, for Max, I'm thinking Don Draper, and I was like, oh my God, yes, that's opposite of what I was thinking, but completely in the right vein. Yeah. It works so well.
Yeah, because he feels like more of a like feet on the desk, like scotch on the desk sort of man. And,
we've definitely channeled that.
Yeah, and I saw some videos of him that's been done like before, like played by some other theater company on YouTube, and like the guy's actually in a gray suit. And I was like, oh, and yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay,
yeah.
I've seen some. It's so interesting. There's no really great.
No, there's no
recordings.
No,
of it. There's like local companies, and when we were in Metropolis, I sent you the picture of. The original Max and Sydney and stuff, and it was a definitely different take. And what's interesting is this is a Superman reference I didn't catch in the pilot episode of Superman and Lois, when they're learning that the Daily Planet's putting layoffs, that Clark and Lois walk in and a reporter passes them and they call him Maxie.
Yeah, I went back and saw that.
And I went back and watched it too because I was doing some research trying to pull up. And I was like, oh, that is a Max reference that I didn't catch the first time I saw that. So, are you excited? Are you having fun doing the show? You don't have to. This isn't director Tyler.
No,
right now.
This is
podcasting Tyler.
I want to do more shows here, for sure. Not just because of how close to. I mean, everybody's been super welcoming. I took 6 years off between shows because I had cancer and some other stuff. So I took time off, came back for Gatsby in the spring, and I was like, you know what? I like how theater makes me feel. And I auditioned for Hill House, and I got one of the leads in that.
Which I'm coming to see you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And then I'm doing Matilda right now, but also doing this, and so it's a bit of a juggle, but it'll be fine.
I hope you're willing to audition if, fingers crossed, I'm submitting an original play for next season, and I'd love for you to come back and audition because
I want to do shows here
because it's a dramedy.
Yeah.
But it also pays tribute to Turia.
Okay.
So I like to work with some good people who will understand what that is. So.
Yeah, I want to be in more shows here. It's super close.
It's a blessing that you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I'm enjoying your performance. I'm enjoying working with you, and I really am glad you're part of this show because you've brought Max, which is funny because the play is called "It's a Birds of Prey and Superman," but Max is really the main character.
Yeah.
He has the most lines. When I sat down and I did my line counts, I was like, wow. And it's not even lines by like lines. I mean like parts, like speaking parts, because you got some chunks.
Yeah.
And so does Abner, and we'll get to him later. But Joey, thank you for being here and chatting with us. Now it's time to talk to that spunky reporter, that legacy character that's amazing, our Lois Lane. Hi, Megan.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're going to ask you pretty much a lot of the same questions. What is your history with the Superman characters?
Absolutely nothing.
And it breaks my heart, but she's doing a great job.
I'm a poser. I've never read the comics. I've never seen a single one of the movies. My extent and experience with Superman is Superman ice cream. And that's it.
That is a different way of into the character. I'm so going to use that. I cannot wait to use it. So I was talking to this friend of mine, and I asked what their in for the character was, and they said Superman ice cream. It's a new one.
That's about it.
We got some homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that's fine. One of my favorite versions of Superman, actually, I've listened to him talk and be an interview, and he talked about how he really didn't grow up with the character. He knew of the character and everything, but he really didn't have any straight references, and he just read it and went with it off the page, and he is my favorite version currently, because I won't go into a whole like spiel why, but just like the depth, the character, but also the dad element he brought to it really got to me.
Yeah, no, I'm an only child, so I grew up watching High School Musical and Barbie movies. So I knew of Superman my whole life, but I've never seen it.
I'll send you a list. I'll just send you the same list I sent Mary when she asked to watch Superman stuff. I sent her like a list. It's perfectly fine. I don't hold it against you. So how are you enjoying the show?
I think it's a fun show. I had never heard of this show before, but I enjoyed the music. It's really fun. I'm a huge fan of Annie, and it's the same composer, so that I was like, when I was listening to the soundtrack, I was like, oh, this is very Charles Strauss. Like, I could hear it in some of the songs in particular.
Oh, yeah. So, side tangent. So, me and Jania got inebriated and watched the new Snow White, because that's the only way to watch that movie. But I was listening, and some of the music, I was like, I know this sound.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know this sounds like something else. And it was the same, and his name's evading me, who had done The Greatest Showman, Dear Evan Hansen. I was like, because I could hear it in the music.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you ever watch that, don't watch it sober.
Yeah, no.
But no, like, you were doing great. And like, one of the cold reads that we had was an actual scene from Superman Returns, because I wanted to do, in the casting, I wanted to do a hard scene of Lois and Clark, and just to kind of see what could be brought. And you did an amazing read.
Thank you. I love doing cold reads. It's one of my favorite things to do in an audition.
I mean, you know, Joey did an amazing job too on the cold reads, because you never know what people are going to bring into it. And it's one of the most valuable tools I think an actor can have, is the cold reads.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
But as far as like doing the show, you know, one thing that we wanted to do was, first of all, I want to do this because of Superman, because I have a problem, as you can tell.
You might just have a slight obsession.
Slight.
Just very slight.
But I also like the idea of mixed marketing, because like I did marketing in school, and like the idea of, if you do a show that no one else is doing, first of all, that's not being done constantly, and you have this movie that's being heavily promoted, if you can find a way to piggyback off that marketing, you might be able to pull something off. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of my pitch.
Yeah, no. And so often you see so many local theaters pretty much having identical seasons. I know of like 4 companies that are getting ready to do The Wizard of Oz, because Wicked is we're in between movie 1 and 2 right now, and so there's so many places doing Wizard of Oz. Great show, love it. But so many people every year have identical seasons, and they're just doing shows in opposite orders. And so I like finding shows that not everybody is doing and not everybody has heard of.
So that's why you're here.
Yes.
How are you enjoying working in this theater? This is your first Roundtown show.
Yes, this is my first Roundtown show. It's a great space. Everyone has been so welcoming and friendly. It's a wonderful space. I really enjoy working in it. It's nice to be in the space from day one, because I've worked on other shows where we don't move in until Tech Week, and then you're adjusting a lot. And so it's really nice to be in the space from day one and not have to worry about making those adjustments later on. So yeah, I've enjoyed working here. The people have been great, like I said. the space is awesome. So.
All right. I would ask you who your favorite Lois Lane is, but since you don't have any reference, we'll have to get back with you on that one.
Yeah, I'll have to do some research on that.
She's the answer is simple. Me.
Yes.
Who's your favorite Lois? Me.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the new one, to be honest.
Oh, she's gonna nail it.
She's going to be great.
Oh my god, I'm so bad when they were like
perfect casting.
When they were like, oh, we're gonna, she got cast. I was like, we're gonna watch Miss Maisel now.
Yeah. Oh,
and me and Jania binge watched the whole series, and I was like, the whole time, just like, she's gonna nail it.
Oh, she's Lois Lane.
And when they cast the new Superman, I was like, what is this guy doing? I was like, bit part. This show called Hollywood on Netflix. I'm like, we're gonna watch this, and we did.
That's a good show too.
And yeah, I was like, okay, yep, he's gonna nail it. I was like, all right, now I'm excited. But all right, thank you for being here.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Our next amazing cast member, as I'll let her introduce herself. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Emily Allen, and I play Sydney.
Sydney, and you're probably thinking, Sydney. That's right, Sydney, another one of the original characters for the musical. Kind of a precursor to Cat Grant in a lot of ways. But Emily, how are you enjoying the show?
Oh, I'm absolutely loving the show.
You don't have to lie, it's okay.
No.
This is podcasting Tyler, not directing Tyler.
No, I actually am very, very excited about it. It's the first time that I've been in a musical where I actually feel like I can laugh. I mean, obviously, you want to know your step. You want to know your lines, your steps, your songs, obviously. But I do feel like I can laugh and kind of not sweat the small stuff.
Yeah. We tried to make a very professional but yet laid back atmosphere. I feel like that's just me in general. Like, life's too serious to always be serious. Even when you need to be serious, like, still have fun, you know? Mm-hmm. I joke way too much, but even at stuff I shouldn't. Like, did I tell you the story about when I was stuck in a tornado? Like, I was scared to death because I was in a car stuck, and there were sirens going off, and like the flags were blowing, but then like we're stuck. And I sent Jania the Jonathan Kent meme from Man of Steel where he's standing in front of the tornado with his hand up. She was so mad at me.
Yeah, rightfully so.
I was like, well. So my first question is, do you have any history or familiar with any of the Superman characters?
Frankly, no. I've always actually been a Batman girl.
Which is okay. It's allowed. Batman's number 2.
But really, no. I actually heard You've Got Possibilities with Linda Lavin and fell in love with it and was like, I need to be in this show. I need to have this part. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to kill somebody. I want to do this part so bad. And it's just so much fun. Like, but otherwise, yeah, I'm not a big like superhero girl.
It's okay. It's allowed. You're
yeah,
cool.
It's a bummer.
It's okay. You know, a little secret. When we came and saw you in Hunchback, I was watching you. I was like, she has to audition. Like, I already had you like, okay, she's going to be one of my 2 leads. I was like, she has to come. I was like, Janine's like, Tyler, you're not supposed to go ahead and precast. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like,
we're not saying it. It's one thing to also say it out loud, which you did not do.
I was looking at her, I was like, I want Emily. So, yeah, I was like, she has to audition. That's why I sent you that message, like, later, I was like, to you and Kira, I was like, hey, you guys have to audition.
Oh, I was like, Tyler, you're not slick. I said, I see you. I see
Perfectly
you.
fine. But no, like, I just wanted you to be part of the show. You know, Sydney's the original character for the show, which is great because it allows you the freedom to do your own interpretation. Like, you're not beholden to any kind of box. I mean, there's, of course, the TV version that was done, but, you know, I sent you guys a picture of like what the original Broadway pictures looked like, but there's no like, oh, I have to act this way to be Sydney. So where do you pull your influences for what you're bringing to the character?
So she kind of reminds me of Harley Quinn a little bit, with just a little bit more dignity, in the aspect that she's following Max and she loves this man who's not showing up for dates, who's not calling her back, who's not doing the things. and she just wants to be so near him. But I don't think that it doesn't irritate her. Like, I think she does think about these things. I think she's like, oh, that's another mistake. But then she sits in his office and looks at him and she's like, that's okay. Like, she remembers why.
I think pulling with the Harley Quinn reference is a great way of, like, bringing it, because this was written in the 60s, and it'd be very easy to play this character as a very lovesick puppy-ish kind of, but like I think you found a nice balance of being the strong woman who just happens to still really have a thing for a guy that's heartbreaking, and finding that balance to where it doesn't play into female stereotypes.
Because I did not want her to be stupid. She's not stupid. I'm not stupid.
No, you're not.
So I didn't want her to just like. I didn't want her to like roll her eyes and bat her eyelashes and just be like the world is well. It's not well. I wanted her to be a little sarcastic. But she still says, you know, finally a piece I can sink my teeth into after giving him crap, you know. Oh yeah, a book about you. Oh, of course, anything for you. But she still is gonna jab at him a little bit.
Which is perfect. Now, what's a little bit of your theater history?
So I started at Round Town when I was 8 years old, I think. And my first show was All I Really Need to Know I Learned by Being in a Bad Play. And it really did truly teach me everything that I needed to know. Since then, I've done... in children's theater, you know, East of the Sun, West of the Moon.
I heard you had an awesome co-director for that show.
For East of the Sun. Oh, yes, I know. I just can't brag about him enough. He was just so good. And he's sitting next to me.
So Emily and I go back a while with that. And, you know, the beautiful thing was that show was a lot of fun. And I've watched you and other theater kids grow from that show. But I was glad to do that with Turia, which was awesome. Because I learned a lot from her. So it was fun.
Yeah, everything I do, I mean...
It's crazy because, like, you've done a lot of theater. You've constantly been working. And, like, you know, since Jeannie and I have had the kids and stuff, we've kind of stepped out of things because the kids were just too young. You know, the last time Jeannie did a show was right before Selah was born.
Yes, all shook up.
And so seeing you and knowing that you're still in theater, and then when coming to see you in Hunchback and really seeing how you've grown was amazing. You know,
I appreciate
to go
that.
from that young girl that I knew doing, like I said, I always get the title, I get tongue-tied on the title. Yeah, that play.
East of the Sun.
West of the...
There you go.
Yeah, I was like, it's been an honor to see you grow and just put the skills. Like, we just did the variety show, and, you know, hearing you sing and everything was just, I was like, yeah, it was awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It's been weird. I mean... we did All Shook Up, and then we did Guys and Dolls. And after Guys and Dolls, I was like, I'll never do theater again. I hated it. I hated Guys and Dolls. I have beef with that musical now. I did. I never wanted to be in another show. You know, saw they were doing Pride and Prejudice after I'd graduated college in 23. And I'm actually, like, just so glad to be back into it, and I've learned so much since then. Doing more musicals, kind of developing my voice, which is not something that I did previously. I was a band kid. I wasn't in choir. I didn't do that.
Do you know how hard it is being married to Jeannie and not being able to sing?
I don't know how you sit in that house. I don't know how you don't, because the heavens open up.
And now that, like, Solomon's developing his voice, and, like, I knew he was doing well, okay? But then, like, hearing him actually do his song for the variety show, because they rehearsed a lot while I was at work, you know, so I didn't always get to hear all of it. And just sitting back and watching him, I was like, oh my God, kid.
You could really do something. I do. I just want to pinch him. I'm like, you're my best friend and I love you.
He is so cool.
He's such a cool kid. And I love Sayla and seeing her run around and be a little turd. She's so freaking funny, man.
She is something.
And I expected nothing less of your children. Oh my gosh. But I'm so glad to be in this. Genuinely saying this to you as a person, not even as a director. I'm so glad to be in this.
We are glad you're here. And, you know, it's not like this was like Taria's like favorite musical, but it was one that I talked to her years ago about doing just because I wanted to do it. And it's just us kind of doing something in a way of honoring her and bringing us back to the theater, and having you be a part of this is like icing on the cake. Like, it just adds another layer that I'm so happy to be part of.
I will say, I don't think I'm not doing it as well as she would. I could never compete with her. But I did come into this as like, oh, Taria would have had this part.
Oh.
Taria would have done this.
So Janine and I, we would watch the TV version just to take notes. You know, we listened to the score. We watched some local theaters that had done it and done our research and stuff and talked about it. And that's why, like, when I created the lookbook for character references, Taria is who we put for Sydney, because she would have just nailed it. And there's that energy that's there. But that's not to take away from what you're doing.
No, never.
I love what you're doing. And it truly is awesome. And I'm glad you're here.
Thanks, Tyler. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone, the interview you've all been waiting for. I have with me KC as CK. I have the big Mr. Keith Carroll. Keith, welcome.
Hello.
You're playing Clark Kent and Superman.
I am, yes.
And Keith, we're just going to throw this out there at the time of this recording. Voice a little strained, so he hasn't been singing. But by golly, does this man have a beautiful voice. I told him, I said, when I heard him sing, I was just like, dang. Like, his audition was for the national anthem, and I have a big deal on how I think the national anthem should sound. I was listening, I was like, is he going to do it? He's going to do it. And he did it perfect. So I was like, this is my man. This is my Superman right here. But nah, Keith is one of those cool dudes that just kind of has that coreness where he exudes the character. Like, you can see it, and like when he auditioned, I was like, oh yeah, I can see it. He's a sweetness, and he has the Clark down. We're working on the Superman.
We'll get there.
He's getting there. But so, as we start this little quick interview here, Mr. Carroll, tell me a little bit. Were you familiar with the play beforehand?
I was not. I did, like a week or so before, I did watch the old TV version.
And you still auditioned?
And I still auditioned.
That's my man right there. See, that's OG Superman. Were you have any history with the Superman characters beforehand?
I mean, I always watch like the old Superman movies and some of like the old TV show, or like the Lois and Clark show. What was the other one? Smallville.
Yeah.
Smallville's
okay.
a banger.
This is a audio podcast, but when Keith said Smallville, his face just lit up. Dude, Smallville's my jam. Yeah. When you come into the house, we have a pic. I'll show you the picture. It's us with some of the cast from Smallville.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. See, Keith got some street cred for that one. But so what made you want to audition for the musical?
Honestly, once I saw that your family was directing it, I said, wow, I haven't been in one of these shows in a minute, like a Maynard Patrick production, The Grip, and I had the opportunity to get in. So it was pretty cool.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, you do.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, you do.
So this isn't director Tyler talking, this is podcasting Tyler. How are you enjoying the show?
I'm really enjoying the show. I feel like I'm getting a lot of people are trying to like help build me up, even when I mess up sometimes, and so it's really nice. You guys are really good at if I'm not doing something the way you guys picture or like your guys' vision for it, you guys help me get there to get your vision.
I know you'll get there. And there's our tech expert, Brady Maynard. He is here. What's up, tech expert Brady Maynard?
Tech expert Brady Maynard.
He's a little frustrated at the moment with the soundboard, but that's being fixed. We just spent some time working through the tech and the sound, and it was not working. But yeah. And Sayla's floating around here too.
I'm a newsie. I'm the newsie in the play.
You know, we did your interview.
Yeah, I know.
You are newsy in the play. Heck yeah, go crazy.
But I'm Flip
I know.
from My Original Superman.
Okay, we're back to Keith here, okay? So give me a little bit of history on your theater. Like, what have you done, like, musically?
Oh, wow. Theater-wise, I've probably been in just quite over 20 productions. My first show I was in was my freshman year? Yeah, my freshman year of high school, Legally Blonde.
Nice.
Yeah, and so from there, I couldn't get enough.
I should name this My Adventure with Keith Carroll.
That's very good. That's very good. I rock with that. But yeah, so I've done a lot of musicals, a lot of plays. But like I said, I think I said to you, this is my first time I've ever been like the namesake of the show. It's like I'm very nervous, but very excited.
I think, Keith, you naturally gravitate. You have a great Clark Kent. It's that Superman aspect that we're working on. But you know, this musical is playful and fun, and we can channel that, and we're getting there. It'll help a lot here as we go off book, and we go into where we can get more movements instead of like holding the script. And I have no doubt that you're gonna nail it.
I appreciate that.
So, well, we are excited. Check out Keith as he rocks it. And like I said, he's CK and KC. Hi, everybody. I always do that. I don't know why. Welcome back. I got two more amazing cast members. I have my Jim Morgan. And if you're like, who's Jim Morgan? Well, he's another one of the original cast members, characters in the play. Say your name, sir.
Riley Josick.
He's like, I forgot who I am. You're so dialed into being Jim.
I was like, do I say Jim Morgan because we're talking about the character, or do I talk about like, hi, I'm an actor named Riley?
And then we also have with us
Alison Josick.
And who are you playing?
I am playing, I'm understudying for Lois Lane, which is super exciting, but then I'm also an ensemble member.
Yeah, and she's awesome.
Thank you.
I really believe, like, with this play, like, there are no small actors. Like, something you always hear, but then watching, like, especially in this play, like, I've really enjoyed seeing people blossom in parts that I just love. Now, as I've talked with other people, and I've talked a little bit here and there about my history with the play and everything, or the theater, Riley and Alison are new to Round Town Players this year. So,
yes.
How are you enjoying your experience at Round Town first?
I've been in theater in general for like 9 years. This is my 11th show, and honestly, you are like the best set of directors I've ever had, and like, it has completely like taken my love of theater and just like flipped it on its head and made me just love it so much more.
And I'm not making her say this, people, I swear.
There are no guns in this room. There's no gun to her head.
I'm all about, like, if we're not doing a good job, then it needs to be brought to our attention, because that's what's important. Now, Riley, real quickly, what's your experience with theater?
My experience with theater is not nearly as much as my wife. Superman is my third show.
And you would not know it. Okay, a little behind the scenes. Riley came out, his cold reads, really good. His singing, really good. When he talked about how little his experience is, I was shocked. Like, seriously, and I'm not just saying that either. Like, he did really well. And recently we did like a little, what would you guys call it, tent event?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Riley and Allison did like an improv game, so like that. And I was just like watching him up there, and I'm like, he is definitely someone that I'm looking forward to see more plays that he does. Either I'm involved, or if I just get like a message like, hey, I'm in this play, I would go see him. I mean, I'd see that for Allison too, but I just think the idea that you are new to all this and you have a natural grasp and talent to it, it's nice to see.
That is a huge compliment.
Yeah, and like for his audition stuff, going back to that, he was gonna audition, didn't look at anything, and then like I came to the first set of auditions because there's 2 sets, and I came out of them and was like, no, like, you've got to try it. These people are so nice. And so on his day of auditions, he practiced and fixed up the song and learned his monologue that day.
It was very good. Now, we've chit-chatted here and there, but do you have any history with any of the Superman background? Or are you just new to Superman, period? It's okay.
I'm super new to Superman. I grew up on Marvel, so.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm very much an equal opportunist. Okay? I don't have any ill will towards anything. Some people are like, oh yeah, I like Batman more. That's fine. It's okay. I'm not mad. My son loves Spider-Man. We were in Metropolis, Illinois, and he wore his Spider-Man costume one day and was walking around, asked Spider-Man, like waving, and then like he even got to ask questions to one of the guests as Spider-Man. Like,
that's so cool.
So I was like, well, I don't care. He wants to wear it. I don't care. But what about you, Riley?
I will admit that my Superman experience is wholly limited to this musical.
My work is cut out for me. I did make a video in the original email. I put a link, and I'll send it out again, called Superman 101. I sat down and edited it together. It's clips from different things, the documentary, some specials. It's like 15 minutes long. I'm going to resend it out. Like, it was just like a quick history because I have an obsession. But it's also like a cultural thing. Do you know, like, are you guys aware that Superman was created in Cleveland, Ohio?
I was.
I did know that.
I learned that when I flew a few years ago. They've got the big Superman statue.
That is the only thing in Cleveland I have yet to see is what's in the airport, because I haven't flown out of that airport. But the house to one of the creators still stands today, and there's like things outside the house. It's in a very bad neighborhood in Cleveland, but we went to it. Coming up soon, there's a big thing at the Cleveland Public Library again and everything. And I'm part of what's called the Siegel and Schuster Society, where they're raising money to build a memorial park for Superman and the Siegel and Schuster there at the Public Library in Cleveland.
Cast trip.
Yeah, let's go. But it's been really nice having you guys as part of this cast, because one thing I've really loved about this cast is with you guys, you're coming into this having no RTP experience, but from OCU, and then we have other people who are either coming back after decades, like Joey, or have no RTP experience. So there's really a nice freshness that is here that I'm really loving the vibe.
Yeah.
It's a very nice influx of energy, and it is worth pointing out that Allie and Riley are a little younger than I am. I still have to remember how old I am. And that's what the theater needs. They need more new people to help it grow and continue, because like Solomon's plugged in, but he's only 10. So it's going to take him some time till he can hold and start to try to lead and do things more from that side. But what made you guys want to audition for this musical? Just looking for a play, something to do, or?
I love musicals. It is a huge passion of mine, and definitely a little bit of an obsession and potentially an addiction, but it's fine. And so I've heard about Round Town. I've never experienced anything with it, and I was like, well, I'll try it, see what I think. If nothing else, I'm getting another musical out of it, and have completely fallen in love with the theater. I'm on some committees now, and it's wonderful.
It's a very welcoming place to be a part of, and I have a lot of history here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I can't, wait for certain select listeners of the podcast. You will be able to see the play when it's recorded, so keep your eyes out.
It's time for Tyler's rant. Tyler's rant right now is, I miss DC animated movies. Since Superman Doomsday, we have had animated Superman and DC property films. At one point, we were getting 4 a year. And we'd get specials like the 2 Batman 66 films. Some other kind of random like that. We had the Lego specials, and all of that has stopped. And I don't like it. The last thing we got was the big Tomorrowverse Crisis 3-parter, which was okay. A lot of fluff. I have the digitals. I haven't bought the physicals. Thought about buying them when it's all combined. If I find them used, maybe. But it felt like a lot of fluff.
In 2 miles, take exit 43.
We got the Watchmen films, which were good. Don't get me wrong. But that's a weird way to kind of go out. Like, I get going out on Crisis, but I miss these films. And I miss the earlier films also, where they would just be self-contained, adapting a story. Like Batman, Superman, Public Enemy, Batman, Superman, Apocalypse. These are, the films that I do miss that you can just watch. Recently we've been doing over on the free Patreon this year, reviewing doing commentaries, which I love doing commentaries. And during that, we did All Star recently, which is contained. And I miss those type. Like, we never got All Seasons or A Kingdom Come. Those would be amazing to have back. Just those DC animated films were something exciting to look to. And it's like, do we get oversaturation of the market with the DC characters? Because it feels like there was a time where we had a lot going on. We had Justice League Action. That was a great cartoon that kind of came and went, and the merchandise never really got out there. We had the DC Superhero Girls that I bought season 2 for Sayla on digital because they hadn't put it out. Season 1 was on Netflix. It's off Netflix, and you can't buy it digitally. So, and the merchandise came and went so fast that by the time Sayla had gotten interested, not long after it came out, it was all off shelves. And yet, there's some stuff that I see from other properties that have been around forever that never leave the toy shelves. And I feel that we just never made anything to last. We have My Adventures with Superman. Great show. Kids and I are rewatching it right now. We're on the last episode of season 1 for our rewatch. Going to start season 2. No merch for this show. None. I think Hot Topic has a couple of shirts. I would love a figure. But all this reigns to say is, I miss those animated movies that were, ones and dones. The Tomorrowverse was a decrease in quality because they did go down. And some of the stories were, weird, like the way they did Brainiac and the way they did Hal Jordan. And I don't find most of the Tomorrowverse films, other than Long Halloween and Superman, Man of Tomorrow, really rewatchable. And that's a bummer. Because I used to rewatch these films all the time. After we did Justice League Dark, Apocalypse for War, and then, the kind of epilogue to that was the Constantine short, I haven't revisited that universe. I will. I like them a lot. But not having anything now is weird. We got Creature Commandos, which is not kid friendly. Teen Titans Go will never stop existing, I feel like. But that's my rant.
Look up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Super